Steef, what can the readers of ESC Daily expect?
Well, we follow the pre-selections very much on a personal level. We have several country experts in our team, people who take upon them not all the 40 countries because you can't keep track of them all, but a small group of countries that they follow, that they have been following sometimes for years, and that they know everything about. And because of these country experts, we can give the readers of ESC Daily a little bit of extra information, not just the facts of the show, what happened, but also some analysis, maybe some predictions about what's going to happen, what type of songs usually fall well in these countries, how these juries tend to vote. And in that regard, if you follow ESC Daily, you will know just a little bit more about how these countries make the choices that they do.
One of the countries that you are following this year and have been following the last couple of years is Hungary. One of the few nations that already started their pre-selection rounds.
Yes, we've had an early start, but a relatively quiet start still. Lithuania is known for their long pre-selections. They've started already. We've seen some talent shows in Israel, Armenia, where they've started to select their artists. And Hungary, of course, they started this weekend with Adal. That's generally my country. I just mentioned to you that the country experts. Well, I've lived in Hungary for a few years, so I've been following Adal for ESC Daily for quite some time now. I haven't been able to live blog the first show, but from next week on, those country experts, including me and all of my colleagues, will be live blogging the shows as well, so you can follow all this commentary live. And yeah, we saw Spoon yesterday or this weekend in Adal. And they've been called one of the favorites over there, but also, of course, Kalai Sanders is still in there. So Hungary, again, like we've seen in recent years, comes up with a big pre-selection with a lot of names, almost Swedish in its style. And I'll be curious to follow who, in the end, they will send to Kiev.
We have a calendar on our website, escdaily.com. People can see all the pre-selections that are yet to come. What are the weeks that it will really be big and huge and much to do at ESC Daily?
I do not know the calendar by heart, but February is, of course, the big month. And what we've seen in recent years is that most of the pre-selections, it used to be long weekends, starting on Friday with a few shows and then Saturday and Sunday as well. And now we've seen that most of the countries tend to move their shows to Saturday night. So it's the Saturday nights that are the busiest generally. And then February is the busiest month when Sweden will start with their Melody Festival, and of course, and in Scandinavia, and everything starts to roll. And you can have nights where there are 5, 6, 7 shows to follow, all at escdaily.com. You can follow them all. Of course, you can't watch them all, but you can read back later on all the commentary and all the context of that show, so you're up to date with everything. And basically the first big weekend, although it is still January, will be next weekend, when we will have shows, actually not on Saturday, but on Friday, 2 national finals. I think both are on Friday, Georgia and Belarus.
Yes.
And that is basically the big kickoff of this national final season.
The last couple of months we spoke a lot about the schedule of the contest in general. Tickets are still not on sale for Kiev. Some big security issues that the country is still facing. They need to be resolved. The venue won't be available to be made ready until March. Are you confident that everything will go smooth when the month May, the big month, the shows are getting closer, that everything will be ready?
I'm confident that TV viewers won't know or won't notice anything of the mess that we are noticing right now. We're, of course, the dedicated fans, the people who follow Eurovision 10, maybe 12 months a year, and we see that things are moving forward a lot slower than they have done in recent years. When May comes, the 3 TV shows will probably all look fantastic, and everything in the venue itself will be ready. I'm confident about that. But of course, we've seen that in recent years that Eurovision, especially for us, the community, is much more than those 3 shows. First of all, it's a 2-week event, not just 1 week. And in Sweden, we've noticed that 2-week event is not just for the press, the people like us who are in the press center following the rehearsals and stuff, but also for the fans. They had events all around Stockholm for 2 weeks long, Eurovision Village, performances, everything. I'm not so sure that will be the same in Kiev this year again, because in order for they will want to, and they have help from Sweden, so they have probably a lot of ideas and dreams of making the event great. But if they will succeed, those things tend to come at last minute. And if this is going to be a last minute process, then of course in the end the focus will have to be on the venue, on the TV shows, and perhaps the fan experience will suffer.
I thought for a very long time that the EBU would eventually perhaps reschedule the contest. They didn't do that. Is that a good decision or a bad decision? How do you stand in that?
Well, I'm no expert on this field. You actually know much more about this than me. But I don't work at the EBU either, so I don't have all the facts. But if you look at schedules for other big events, like, for example, football, the EBU has always said that they want to avoid the clash with international football. And you could argue that moving the contest from the first 2 weeks of May to the last 2 weeks of May, and the final being on, I think, the 27th then, would have made more sense, because you would have avoided a clash with semifinals of both Champions League and Europa League. Also, that would have given NTU 2 weeks more time to prepare for their shows and for all the events going on in Kiev. But I'm sure the EBU had their reasons not to do that. We interviewed Jon Alassand about that. If you were interested in these kind of technical topics, I advise you, all of our listeners and readers, to look back at our YouTube channel to that interview in which he tries to explain their decision. And we'll see how it all turns out.
Thank you, Steef.